How do you usually begin your day? For many of us, it starts with a jolt, the alarm clock, the ping of a notification, the immediate pull of responsibilities. We tumble into our day, reacting rather than choosing, often feeling behind, before we've even truly begun. But what if you could start differently? What if you could begin with a moment of intentionality, a quiet anchoring? Before the demands of the world take hold, the ancient Stoics understood this need. They didn't have smartphones or overflowing inboxes, but they faced their own versions of chaos and uncertainty, and they developed a powerful practice. Short, potent phrases, repeated at the dawn of day, not as rigid dogma, but as tools for orientation, mental compass points, to set a course for inner steadiness in a turbulent world. Today, we're going to explore 5 of these profound Stoic lines. Simple words, with the power to profoundly reshape how you experience your day, and ultimately, your life. This isn't about escaping reality, it's about engaging with it more skillfully, more calmly, more purposefully. Let's begin. The first line is, I am grateful to be here. Before the list of to-dos, before the urgent emails, before the quiet anxieties about the future, there is this simple, profound statement. It's not about being thankful for everything that happens, but for the sheer fact of existence, of awareness, of being present in this moment. It's easy to dismiss gratitude as a fluffy, New Age concept. But for the Stoics, it was a grounding force, a conscious act of anchoring yourself in reality, before your mind inevitably drifts to what's missing, what's wrong, or what's next. Imagine waking up to the persistent hum of the city, the weight of a looming project at work, the subtle ache in your joints that reminds you of time passing. The natural inclination is to immediately list the burdens. But what if, before any of that, you simply acknowledged, I am here, I woke up, the sun is rising, I have this breath. This isn't naive optimism, it's a strategic refocusing. It's remembering that the very foundation of experience, life itself, is a profound gift, often overlooked in the rush for more, or better. This deliberate act of gratitude creates an internal shift. It's a subtle, but powerful realignment of your perspective, instead of starting from a place of deficit or demand. You begin from a foundation of abundance. It doesn't erase the challenges, but it reframes them. The stress of the day doesn't disappear, but your capacity to meet it with a steady, unburdened spirit grows. You move from an involuntary reaction to the day to an intentional engagement with it, armed with a quiet strength. That comes from recognizing fundamental blessings. This line helps us guard against the pervasive modern discontent. That tells us we are always incomplete, always lacking. It reminds us that our true wealth is in the present, not in what we will achieve, but in what already is. The second line is, some things are not in my control. This isn't a surrender to apathy, but a radical act of liberation. It's recognizing that the vast majority of life's events, the weather, other people's opinions, economic fluctuations, even many physical ailments, lie outside the realm of our direct influence, and struggling against them is a futile drain on our most precious resource, our inner peace and energy. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. They understood that suffering often arises, not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to what is, from our insistence. That reality should conform to our expectations. Consider the daily frustrations, a crucial email reply that's late, a colleague's passive-aggressive remark, traffic that makes you miss an appointment, the unpredictable movements of the stock market, affecting your retirement plans. We spend countless hours replaying these scenarios, wishing they were different, feeling anger or anxiety. But none of these external events are truly within your control. Your effort, your preparation, your intentions, these are yours. The outcome, however, often isn't. Holding on to the illusion of control over the uncontrollable is a recipe for chronic stress. Embracing this line shifts your internal landscape. Instead of wasting energy trying to wrestle with external circumstances, you learn to redirect your focus to what truly belongs to you, your judgments, your reactions, your character, and your choices. This distinction is not a passive acceptance of fate, it's an active cultivation of inner resilience. By releasing the burden of what isn't yours to carry, you reclaim a vast amount of mental and emotional freedom. You gain a stable sense of calm, knowing that even amidst external turmoil, your inner citadel remains unbreached. This wisdom allows you to conserve your emotional resources and direct them towards what truly matters, your intentions, your effort, and your response. It's a powerful distinction that leads to emotional conservation and a stable sense of calm. The third line is, I will meet people who are difficult. This isn't a cynical expectation, but a strategic preparation. It's acknowledging the messy, unpredictable reality of human interaction without being caught off guard, or allowing it to derail your inner peace. Marcus Aurelius famously used this morning meditation to inoculate himself against the day's inevitable frustrations. He understood that expecting people to be perfect or to always act rationally is a recipe for constant disappointment. Instead, by mentally rehearsing these encounters, we can approach them with a sense of understanding, or at least with a prepared composure, rather than reactive anger or surprise. Think of the demanding client who always pushes boundaries, the family member whose passive-aggressive comments prick at your patience, or the online forum where anonymity emboldens unkindness. Your instinct might be to avoid, to fume, or to engage in a futile argument. But if you begin your day with the conscious thought, there will be challenging personalities. Their behavior is a reflection of their inner state, not a personal attack on me. You equip yourself with a powerful shield. This forethought allows you to recognize the pattern, to detach emotionally, and choose a response that maintains your integrity, rather than being swept into their drama. The power of this preparation lies in the internal shift it creates. You move from anticipating conflict with dread to observing it with a degree of detached understanding. You realize that you cannot control how others behave, but you absolutely control your response. This isn't about excusing bad behavior, it's about safeguarding your peace. It frees you from the exhausting cycle of outrage and allows you to approach interactions, even difficult ones, with a calm mind. Knowing your inner stability is not contingent on the perfect behavior of others. You become less easily provoked, more patient, and more strategically effective in your communication because you're operating from a place of foresight, not shock. This line fosters a deeper sense of empathy, or at the very least, a greater capacity for patience. It transforms potential irritants into opportunities to practice your Stoic virtues, to respond with wisdom, rather than react with emotion. It's a practice of maintaining your own moral compass, regardless of the winds around you. Take a moment now. Perhaps you've already encountered a small challenge this morning, or felt a flicker of impatience. These 3 lines are not just for dawn, they are anchors. You can return to them throughout your day, a quiet whisper to yourself, a subtle recalibration, because the day, like life itself, is not a straight path, it's a series of moments. Each one, an opportunity to remember who you intend to be. The fourth line is, I have enough for this moment. In a world constantly screaming, more possessions, more achievements, more followers, a better version of yourself that's always just out of reach. This line is a revolutionary act of contentment. It doesn't mean you stop striving or improving. It means you pause the relentless pursuit to acknowledge the profound sufficiency of the present. The modern narrative often makes us feel perpetually incomplete, as if happiness is a destination, only accessible once every goal is met, every desire satisfied. But this Stoic wisdom invites us to find stability, not in the absence of desire, but in the presence of sufficiency. You're at your desk, overwhelmed by an endless to-do list, or perhaps scrolling through social media, seeing curated glimpses of others' perfect lives, and a feeling of inadequacy creeps in. Maybe you're planning for retirement, and the numbers never seem quite big enough, triggering anxiety. In these moments, the mind tends to catastrophize, projecting future lack onto the present. The thought, I have enough for this moment, cuts through that. It's not ignoring the future or denying ambition. It's recognizing that right now you have the resources, the capability, the mental space, or simply the fundamental needs met to handle this very instant, the breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the opportunity to try. This line creates an internal shift from a mindset of chronic deficit to one of quiet abundance. It's a powerful counter-narrative to the societal pressure to constantly chase. By consciously affirming, I have enough for this moment, you momentarily quiet the clamor of external demands and internal criticism. This doesn't make you complacent. It makes you grounded. From this foundation, your ambition can be healthier, your striving more focused, and your joy more accessible. You gain the freedom to act, not from a place of desperate need, but from a position of calm strength, knowing that your inherent worth is not tied to external metrics. You become less susceptible to external validation and more anchored in your own inherent value. It's a powerful antidote to anxiety, a recognition that much of our suffering comes from projecting future lack. On to the present. This line allows you to find stability and peace. Here. Now. The fifth and final line is, I will act with purpose. This isn't about grand gestures or changing the world overnight. It's about bringing conscious intention to the small, everyday moments. It's about aligning your actions, however mundane, with your deepest values. The Stoics didn't believe in a passive acceptance of fate. They believed in a relentless, virtuous engagement with it. This line is a call to awaken from autopilot, to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Before you speak, before you respond, before you engage in any task. It transforms mere activity into meaningful action and repetition, into profound practice. Imagine you're facing a mountain of administrative tasks, a challenging conversation with a loved one, or simply deciding how to spend your evening. The default can be to just push through, react, or succumb to distraction. But if you begin with, I will act with purpose, you elevate the ordinary. The administrative task becomes an exercise in discipline and efficiency. The conversation becomes an opportunity to practice patience and clear communication. Your free evening is chosen not out of inertia, but out of a deliberate intention to rest, to learn, or connect. This shift turns you from a leaf, buffeted by the winds of circumstance, into a captain, steering their own ship. This line produces a profound internal shift, from a state of unconscious doing to one of intentional being. It injects meaning into every action, no matter how small. You become an active participant in your life, rather than a passive observer. This cultivation of purpose builds character, strengthens self-discipline, and provides a clear direction. Amidst life's inevitable distractions, you stop feeling like you're simply drifting through your days and start experiencing a deeper sense of agency and fulfillment. Each purposeful action, no matter how minor, contributes to the larger mosaic of the person you aspire to become. This is how character is built, one conscious choice at a time. It's how we transform our lives from a series of accidental events into a deliberate, meaningful journey. It's the daily commitment to live in accordance with your highest self. These 5 lines will not remove difficulty, nor will they make challenges disappear, but they will offer orientation. Most people never consciously choose how they begin their day. They fall into it, swept along by the current of inherited patterns, stress, and urgency. But when you pause and consciously bring intention to the first moments of your day, you are making a choice. You are actively shaping yourself. This is how Stoic wisdom becomes practical. It's not just a philosophy. It's a daily practice for building resilience, clarity, and inner steadiness. If this reflection felt meaningful to you, you may find value in returning to ideas like these, not all at once, but gradually, one morning at a time. This channel exists as a quiet space for thoughtful living in a demanding world. If you choose to stay, there will always be another perspective waiting for you. Until next time, begin your day with calm and let purpose follow.